So in last week's video, I showed you how to encase an 18 by 13 oval to make an earring. Today, I'm going to show you a necklace inspired by this design. Now, the one thing that we're going to do different on this thing is I'm going to show you how to completely encase the back of this stone, because the stone will be rubbing up against your skin and we don't want that back foil to come off. So we're going to completely encase the stone. So we're going to start out in the same way that I did last week. We're going to start out with 40 11-0 Delicas in the initial circle. And you're going to do a round of peyote stitch. So you're just going to pick up a Delica, skip a Delica, and then go through the next Delica. And that's going to pop that bead right there side by side. And you're going to continue around the ring, picking up one Delica, skipping one, and then going through the next one. And you're going to want to do this all the way around the circle until you get back around to the step up. So I've gone all the way around and I have one Delica left to add. So I'm picking it up, I'm going to skip a Delica and then go through the next Delica. This is going to be the last Delica on the round. Now it's time to step up. So you step up by going through the first bead that you added in this round, which would be this bead right here. But since I already have a flat surface and I'm going to be adding 15s, I'm going to go ahead and just do this inside so it's a little bit easier, but it doesn't matter. You can do it either way. So I'm just going to go through the bead here to the left to do my step up. And then just try not to get your thread caught there. Okay, now you're going to pick up a 15 and go through the next 11 Delica that's sticking up. And then a 15 and go through the next Delica that's sticking up. And you're going to do this all the way around, and you're going to do 2 rows of this inside with the 15s. Once you've gone all the way around, this is what your piece will look like. And as you can see, I've stitched to exit any of the upper Delicas that are sticking up along the outer edge. On this round, you're going to pick up your 15 and go through the next Delica that's sticking up. And you're going to just pull these. You can pull them tight if you want to so that it'll start to cup up. I just basically pull them and pop them into place. Up to you. But you're just going to work this round, just picking up a 15 and going through the next Delica all the way around. Once you've gone all the way around, this is what your piece will look like. I've stepped up by going through the first 15 that I added in this round. And I'm going to take my stone, and again, I'm using an 18 by 13 stone. I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to set it down inside of my encasement. And I'm going to pull that thread nice and tight. Now, for this specific design, I'm going with the scallop edge that I showed you last week. So I'm picking up 115. I'm going to go through the next 15 that's sticking up, and I'm going to pull that thread tight, and then I'm going to go through the Delica and the next 15 and pull it tight. Then a 15, go through the next 15 that's sticking up, then I'm going to go through the Delica and the next 15. Pick up a 15, go through the next 15 that's sticking up, then go through your Delica and your 15. And you're going to want to work this all the way around. Now, once you've gone all the way around, you're ready to stitch to the back of the component and come out of any upper 15 along the back side. Now we have to completely encase this back part here. So the first round is going to be done exactly like this last round here on top. We're going to do almost like a scallop edge type thing. So you're going to pick up 115, go through the next 15 sticking up, and then go through the next lower 15 and then upper 15 to get into position to add the next one. So then you pick up a 15, go through the next 15 sticking up, then go through the next lower and upper 15, and then you're going to continue to do this all the way around, just picking up the 15, going through the 15 sticking up, and then go through the lower and the upper 15. Once you've gone all the way around, you'll want to step up through the first 15 that you added in this round, which I'm exiting right here. You'll pick up 2 15s and go through the next 15 sticking up. So it's the one way over here. Now it seems like it's going to be far away, but I promise you this will work out. So you're just picking up 2 15s and then going through the next 15 sticking up. And again, you're going to do that all the way around. And when you come back around, you're going to step up by going through those first 2 15s, but I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so I'm back around to where I only have 2 15s left to add. My last 15 for the row is going to be this 15 right here. Okay, so I'm going to go through that 15, and then I'm going to step up by going through the first 2 15s that I added on this round. So this is what you have so far. Now for this round, you are going to pick up 1 15, and you're going to go through the next set of 2 15s. So 1 15, and go through the next 2 15, so the set, okay? So you're going to do this all the way around, just 1 15 and going through the 2. Now as you work this, like I said, this is helping us to cover up the backing, and this is just the best way that I found to do this. To me, this is the most time-consuming part of the whole design process as far as this necklace, because this takes a little while to encase the whole back of the stone. But I promise you that if you don't, it's going to mess up. So you're going to continue doing this. Once you get all the way back around, I'm ready to add my last 15. So I'm going to go through my last set of 2, which are going to be these 2 beads right here. Then I'm going to step up by going through the first 15 that I added in this round. Now we're going to repeat our round of adding sets of 2, except for we're going to change one thing here and here. So I'm going to pick up 2 15s, and I'm going to go through the next 15 sticking up, and then 2 15s and go through the next 15 sticking up. Now this corner down here is only going to get 1 15. So you're going to pick up 1 15 and then go through the next 15 that's sticking up. And then 2 15s and go through the next 15 that's sticking up. Two 15s and go through the next 15 sticking up. 2 15s and go through the next one sticking up. Okay, we got to do it one more little time here for this side. So 2 15s, go through the next one sticking up, and then you're going to pick up 1 15 and go through the next 15 sticking up for this corner. Then you want 2 15s and go through the next 15 that's sticking up, and then I have to do that one more time. So 2 15s and I'm going to go through the last 15 on the row, which is going to be this one right here. And then I'm going to be stepping up through the first two 15s that I added in the round, which are going to be these two right here. So for the next round, you're going to thread on 1 15 and go through the next set of 2 15s. Now, I'm here to the corner where I've only got one little 15, so I'm going to go through that 15. I'm not adding anything, and then I'm going through my next set of 2 15s. Okay, so I was coming out of 2. I went through 1 without adding anything, and now I'm going through the next set of 2 without adding anything. Then I will thread on 1 15, go through my next set of 2, then 1 15, go through the next set of 2, one 15, and through the next set of 2. Now I'm back at my next corner here where I have the single 15. So I'm going to go through that 15, just that single bead, and then through my next set of 2 15s. Then it's 1 15 and go through the next set of 2. And now 1 15, and I'm going to go through the last set of 2 for my row. And they're tight. They're getting really tight by this time. So I'm going through that last set of 2, and then I'm going to step up through the first bead that I added in this round, which is going to be that one right there. So at this point, this is what your piece will look like, and it'll be kind of sticking up just a little bit, and you can kind of take and press them in if you need to, but it's okay because we're going to fix that as the next go rounds as we work. So now you are going to thread on 2 15s and go through the next single 15. So that one's this one down here in the corner. So for this row, you're going to be picking up 2 15s, and these 2, 4, 6 beads here are the only beads you're going to be worried about on this row. So I'm going to pick up 2. I'm coming out right here, so I'm going to come directly across to this one, and I'm going to go through that single bead directly across from the one I'm coming out of. Then 2 15s and go through the next 15 that's sticking up. Then 2 15s and go through the next one sticking up. Now 2 15s, and you're going to come directly across through the 15 here on the other side. Then 2 15s, go through the 15 sticking up, and then 2 15s, and you're going to go through the last 15 sticking up, which is going to be this end one right here. Alright, so now you want to be coming out of one of these 2 beads here in the center. So I'm just going to continue to stitch through these 2 15s, and then I'm going to stitch through my sets of 2 until I'm coming out of the first bead of my set of 2 here on this side. I'm going to go through the middle two 15s on the opposite side, and I'm going in the opposite direction. And what this is going to do, this is the first 15 of one set, and then the last 15 of one set, and the first 15 of the next set of two. And then I'm going to work back in the other way, and I'm going to go through those middle two 15s again, and I'm going to pull that tight. And now you can see how that closes it up. And you can reinforce this several times and then get rid of this tail thread. Now you're going to want to make a total of 9 of these components, just like this, okay? Then once you finish those 9, you're going to want to make the Simplicity Earring Chaton components. And you're going to need 18 of these, okay? And as you can see, I have stitched to where my thread on each of these is coming out a single bead Delica row around this outer edge here. Okay, so you want 9 of these and 18 of these made. Now that you have the components made, we'll actually be connecting the components together. So your connections will actually be 1 oval stone and 2 chatons. We'll have 1 on each end. So I've got my needle threaded onto the tail thread of one of the chaton pieces here. And you can see I'm coming out of a single bead Delica row. When you connect, we're going to be connecting on the ends of the oval. Now it's kind of hard to see here, but when you hold the oval to the side a little bit, you can see this V shape where the facet is, and this is the center end of the stone. Now if you look here, you'll see that the center end of the stone actually is over a set of 2 of my Delicas, and I have a single bead Delica on each row. If you have, let me come over here to the other side and see. Let's see, yeah, and it's going to be the same way on this end. Sometimes if you have just a single bead Delica row, you can do the connection there and it works out really great. But for where I'm going to have to connect, my thread is coming out of my chaton to the left. So here is my center connection. So I'm going to go through the single bead Delica row here to the left. Now, pull in so you can see a little bit. Okay. Now, before I go ahead and pull this chaton all the way up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go through the next 11 O Delica here. So here's where I'm coming out, and then I'm coming to the bottom one, looking this direction, the bottom one of the next set of 2. And then I'm going to pull this chaton up like this. Now I'm going to flip it around here. I'm coming out of, and I'm going to pull this a little bit so you can see, I'm coming out of this Delica. So I'm going to come to the Delica right next to it, and I'm going to go in the opposite direction up through that one Delica. And then pull the thread. Now, I'm going to go through the single bead Delica right here where it's connected to the component. Then I'm going to go through the single bead Delica row on the actual chaton component, and then through the next single bead Delica row here on the oval encasement, so that this will actually center that encasement over the oval. Okay, now I'm going to do the turnaround thing again, so I'm going to come through the next Delica beads here, and then back through, and these are really tight at this point, so you really have to kind of wiggle your needle and work to get that going. Alright, now I'm going to go through that single bead Delica row, then through the bead on my chaton. Now I'm going to stitch up through the beads here to exit. This is the center here, so I want to exit this single bead Delica row so that I can get ready to add what I need here to the top. So that's done in just a zigzag fashion. It's one of those things that it doesn't matter how you get through the beads, as long as you get through them where you don't see the thread. Alright, now I'm going to pick up one Delica and I'm going to go straight through the next single bead Delica row here along the top of my encasement to add that one little bead. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stitch back around so that my thread is coming out of that one bead, and then I'm going to connect another encasement here at the bottom exactly like that one. Once you have the two connected, this is what your piece will look like. You'll want to continue to connect all of your pieces until you've used all of them up except for one of your oval encasements. Now, I've gone ahead and I have my needle threaded onto the tail thread of one of my chaton encasements. And then I've taken a second little chaton set and I have finished off the thread on one side, because now I'm actually going to connect these two pieces together. So from where my thread is coming out, I'm going to pick up one 4mm bicone, and I'm going to go through the 15 or the 11/0 on the other encasement. Now go up through the 4mm you just added, and then through the 11 on the first encasement once more so that it will connect them. Now you want to go ahead and while you've got it, go ahead and reinforce this 4mm. Now once you've enforced it one more time, then you're ready to actually finish out this connection. So you'll want to pick up 4 Delicas and go through the 11/0 at the bottom of that 4mm. Then 4 more 11s, and you're going to go through the 11 at the top of that 4mm. So now that puts 4 on each side. Now I'm going to continue on through the first 2 of the set of 4 that I added. Pick up 1 15 and go through 5 of the 11. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Now thread on 1 15 and go through the next 3 11s so that it makes that connection complete. Now I go through and I'll reinforce this several times and then get rid of that thread. And what you'll want to do as you work to connect these is you'll want to connect these so that it makes a strip of 4 like this one is here. Okay, so I have 4 sets connected and I've left the thread on each end so that I can use one end for the clasp and one end for the center. So you'll want to go ahead and make 2 total strips that have 4 connections each. Once you've got both your strips completed, you'll want to thread the needle onto the end of one of the very end components, and this is where we're going to add the first part of our clasp. So you're going to pick up 6 15s and go back through the 11/0 that your thread is coming out of so that it makes a circle. And you'll want to reinforce this circle several times and tie off the thread. Once you have that thread tied off, Then you're ready to add the clasp to the first side of the necklace. So you're just going to open your jump ring, attach the clasp, and then attach it to the loop that you just made with your seed beads, and then close that jump ring, making sure you get it good and closed. So once you get that side done, then you are going to do the same thing on the other side. And there we go. So you will have your clasp end on each side. And now you're ready to actually connect your two pieces to the center. So let me get some of these seed beads cleared off and I'll show you how to do that. With your final encasement, we're ready to make the center of this necklace. So you're going to want to decide how far apart you want your necklace straps to be. It's best if you can put them here in the top corners, but you can put them, closer if you want them or whatever. So I know that this is the center top of my piece. So I'm going to come over. I think I'm going to attach my first strip right here. So with the needle attached to the end component of one of your strips, you can see that my thread is coming out here to the right. So I'm going to take my new component, let me zoom in there. So I'm going to attach it right here, and since my thread is exiting to the right, I'm going to go through this 11-0 Delica single bead row to the right. So I'm just going to turn it around a little bit here and stick it through that bead. Alright, now before I pull it tight, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go through this 11-0 Delica, and then I'm going to come around through the opposite way and go up through this 11 Delica. Got to do that turnaround thing that we've talked about. Now I've gone ahead and stitched through the bead that I've got this thread connected to. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and then pull that thread nice and tight so it pulls everything down. Now I'm going to go through the 11-0 on the encasement and then through the next single bead Delica row here on this side. And I'm going to go ahead and reinforce this several times, and then I'm going to attach this one to this side. Now when I attach it, I'm going to come back to the front or the top here. So this was my top, and I came over 1, 2 single row Delica beads to start my next one. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and then this space right here is where this side will connect, so that they will be connected like this. Once you've got the other strip connected, this is what your piece will look like. So it's a beautiful, elegant piece that will go great with the earrings from last week. Now, a few things that you need to know is that if you don't get these good and connected, your pieces will buckle. So that is one thing. Number two is that the ovals are actually deeper than the chaton pieces, just a little bit. So if it moves around just a little bit, that's okay. But otherwise, you'll get a great wear out of this piece. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make the Emerald City necklace.